Everybody, sit straight, spine erect, chin away from your chest, eyes gently closed. Shift your eye gaze to the center of the eyebrows, Jyotishmati, the light of awareness within. Take a deep breath and exhale. One more time. Let's do our opening chant. Repeat after me. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahanau Bhunaktu. Sahaviryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavaditamastu. Ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's do the YEC anthem. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Repeat after me. Asatoma Sadgamaya. Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya. Mrityorma Amritangamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. A wonderful morning. A wonderful morning. And how many are all of you have done with the school? Yeah? 2 weeks ago. Oh, wow, fantastic. So are you all excited about the summer? Anybody doing any special things? Vacations, trips? Oh, yeah, college perhaps. I see. I think one of the special things that you're doing is learning yoga, right? That's also a fantastic thing. Actually, my first yoga camp, when I first started, it was in 2019. At the time, I used to work at Apple. It was one of the, and then we did a yoga performance in one of the festivals. Everybody got inspired, and there were like 18 kids. They're apparently supposed to be very naughty kids, right? From the high school. But then we all got together and we spent we did 20 hours of a yoga camp in 5 days. Saturdays and Sundays, we used to do 5 hours. 5 hours. 5 hours. And then the parents were like, are we going to do that much time? And apparently these kids were like always used to run around. They would never listen to anybody. But everybody was so attentive. They enjoyed it. 5 hours. And then the parents were surprised. And then we actually did a yoga dance towards the end. But what we're going to do today is, we have some very, very important thing. When we first started the camp, we all asked ourselves, like, how much yoga that we do every day. And oftentimes we say, like, we do about 60 minutes, 90 minutes or something. But today we're going to learn about the deeper essence of yoga and how we can actually make this yoga way of life 24/7. And we've already gotten some experience of that. Does anybody want to say, what is your perception of yoga? Dave, you want to start? Any definition? Building discipline, not eating donuts. It's free will, right? Any other definitions?
I think yoga could be like seen as like expanding both your like physical needs and spiritual needs.
Oh, wow. Essentially, one way we always say is like, yoga is all about being limitless, fearless. And then we also do this drama, right? What do we do? Like this. What does this mean? Huh?
So the pinky finger is a donkey.
A pinky is monkey.
Monkey. And then the ring finger is the donkey. And the middle finger is the butterfly. So the index finger is the focus. And then the thumb is the
harmonious mind or mastered mind. So in yoga, we shut down this, the negative states of mind, and then always be situated in focus, harmony, and then joyful, always playful. Anytime when we are not happy, when we are not in excellent state, and that's what we call as in Sanskrit, asat. That's not our rightful state. Rightful state is always be joyful, always be happy. And in fact, yoga is a process that can help us go from asat to sat. Asatoma satkamaya. So what we're going to do is, let's actually talk about Ashtanga Yoga today. And that's one of the very, very important concepts. And we already played with this. Like when we, in the first day, when we had Steve and come out here, what did we do? We went and we did plant the trees. Today, hopefully we'll do few more of this, right? So Astavangani. So yoga is often represented as a tree. With all of us have, in yogic system, we're all supposed to have a yogic body. Today we have a physical body, right? Legs, and we have different limbs. But we also have a yogic body within us, and that has 8 limbs. 8 limbs. And then the first 2 limbs, the most important limbs, for anybody that's in the path of yoga, is what we know as yamas and niyamas, like the roots. If you do not have those roots, we cannot really completely become a yogi. So what are yamas and niyamas? And yamas are the universal human values in how we need to conduct towards others or the world around you. There are 5 of them. And then the niyamas are how we need to conduct towards one's own self, how we need to conduct ourselves. They are also 5. So these are universal human values, or the practices that we all need to practice. Only then we can actually get to this focused and harmonious mind. Those are like the absolutely roots and fundamental tenets of being a yogi. So what are those? And then there are 8 limbs. The first one is what we say is like yamas. And the second one is niyamas. The third one, only after we start practicing the yamas and niyamas, the third one is asana, the posture. The fourth one is pranayama, the breath control. Then the 5th one is called pratyahara. Pratyahara is like ahara means consumption, wanting to eat more donuts and wanting to watch TV and all that stuff. Pratyahara is having control. If you want to eat donut, you can actually eat one donut, but don't let the donuts become a boss of you, right? Or a pizza become a boss of you. So pratyahara is having mastery over what we watch, what we listen, what we this, right? Then the last 3 are dharana, focus, dhyana is meditation, and then the last one is samadhi. So we'll talk about those dharana, dhyana, samadhi. In fact, those 3 things is actually the secret to excellence. Yoga is about manifesting whatever we want to do. If you want to become a good SAT score, yoga actually gives you the power to actually get you the perfect SAT score. If you want to get into a top school, yoga can actually allow you to do that. In the next class, we're going to talk about the power of samyama. And if you want to go participate in a marathon, yoga can actually train you. to participate in the marathon. That's one of the, in fact, all these things are preparatory so that we cultivate the power of samyam. So today we're going to talk about these Yama Niyama and Yama Niyama principles and a little bit about asana pratyahara, and then we jump outside. And then jump means we fly outside and then we go practice some yoga. Okay, let's do this. What are some of the 5 values, right? And then by practicing these Yama Niyama principles, Patanjali is such a beautiful guy. And actually see this. He actually revealed that we are going to get some superpowers. Who wants some superpowers? It's good, right? We all want superpowers, right? Like a Superman and all that stuff, right? So on the Yama side, Yama says, if anybody asks you about what are those Yamas in the yogas, it's about how we conduct towards others. What are some of the things that we said? The first one is ahimsa, right? Ahimsa is non-violence. The second one we talked about is satya, is being truthful, right? See this, right? We actually have, ahimsa, satya. And then the third one we did is asteya, non-stealing. And then the fourth one we put is aparigraha, no coveting, right? So everybody knows what non-violence is. Does non-violence remind you of anybody? Any personality? So the Mahatma Gandhi and other people? Well, Martin Luther King. And then the other one is like, Buddha. We can actually talk about Buddha, Abraham Lincoln, or one of the greatest presidents that we have, right? So what Patanjali said is, in yoga is not about touching the toes or anything. The first value that you need to do is practice non-violence. And the non-violence is not just even towards others. It's also about our own selves. So sometimes, we don't treat ourselves, right way. Sometimes we would have a negative, talk, you're not good. That's also violence. That's also violence. So we always need to love ourselves. Only when we love ourselves, we can love others. What Patanjali said, there is a Sanskrit, I'll briefly mention the Sanskrit. Ahimsa pratisthayam tatsannidau vairatyagaha. What it actually means is people who practice non-violence, they will develop this superpower. They'll influence people around them to give up violence. And there is a saying that this Buddha and Jain, when they used to walk, if there are thorns on the street, when they were walking, they used to bend. And we actually see that, right? If somebody, what did Martin Luther King or Gandhi have done? By them practicing non-violence, they actually influence so many other people around them to give up violence. Today, what's happening? If somebody says something, we were like, let me get back at you. And then what that happens? This getting back at you, then the other person is like, I'm going to get back to you much stronger. And in fact, there's a saying on this picture that says like, if we go for an eye for eye, the world will soon become blind. The world will soon become blind, right? So if you want to build a very loving and peaceful society, the first thing that we need to do is practice being non-violence. That's the number one tenet of being a yogi. That's the first superpower. And then the second superpower. And then it starts with being loving with our own selves. A yogi can never criticize themselves. Will always be in loving. When you are situated in full and abundance and love, then we can actually extend it. When you feel like, I don't have anything, then the journey starts as, I don't have these things because somebody else is getting. And that's where the violence kind of starts. So love, non-violence is the first yogic power, superpower. And then the second superpower is this big board. That's my favorite tree, Satya, being truthful, right? Who do we remember? Does anybody remember any person that comes to mind when you're talking about being truthful? Yeah. Again, Gandhi, talked about being truthful. And then there is a famous story, right? If you follow some of the Indian Hindu mythology, there will be stories of like Harishchandra or even Ram. They're all, followed, being truthful. What Patanjali revealed another superpower. This is I actually experienced this superpower, right? It's called Satya Pratisthayam Priyaphalashayatvam. What it means is people who are situated in truth, whatever they think, it actually becomes true. Whatever they think, it actually becomes true. And that is an absolute power that I've actually, just 1 second, sorry. Whatever we say, it actually becomes true. Let me. Okay, let me stop this. So that is the second power, Satya Pratisthaya. So what does it mean? Being honest, exactly. Being honest. Always be truthful, anchored in truthful. Say the right thing, right? It also being like in a harmony. Sometimes, we think something, but we say something. And in our mind, we have certain things, but, we try to say something else to please the other or, to be situation, right? That means you're not in harmony. The thumb is not there. Your inside and outside are not one and the same. So you're actually then becomes like one of these monkey, donkey, or butterfly, right? But the thing is, this is a big thing. You being kids, you are actually the very innocent and always truthful, always wanting to do the right thing. So most of the time, whatever you wish, because the more 100% you're truthful, the more 100% whatever you think you actually manifest. So what does this mean? So that means we always have to, number one, we have to be truthful, but number two, we also have to always wish positive things for ourselves and for the people around us. So let's say if you're truthful and if you wish something negative, what happens? That also becomes true. That's why in the some of the Hindu mythological stories, right? There are all these saints who have this always be truthful. And then we don't want them to actually give any negative thing. That's true. And I actually started realizing this. Now, if you have any doubt, like a donkey, right? And then if you're truthful, what happens is, if you're truthful, it's like, I'm not good at anything. What happens? Tadastu. And then we'll become like, not good at anything, right? So basically it's like, but most often, if you're not being truthful, what happens is, whatever you think, it will never happen. So the power is, in yoga, be always truthful, be in harmony, whatever is your inside, project that as an outside, then you have this beautiful power. I want to get 2400 in SAT. Make that wish, you'll get that. Right? But if you think like, no, I don't think, and I'll pass. So it's like, okay, that will also happen. Right? So that's actually one of the greatest things of being a yogi, which is like, you can manifest whatever you want. So it's actually being truthful is actually the biggest responsibility. And then the third one, we talked about asteya, non-stealing. What Patanjali said is, asteya pratishtayam sarvaratna upasthanam. What it means is, people who do not steal, all the wealth that they need, it actually comes to them. People who try to steal, they may get that, $1 or $2 or $3, or it's not just even about the money, stealing other people's ideas, as claiming that as my own, right? So what Patanjali said is, people who do not steal, they automatically is like Sarvaratna Upasthanam, whatever they need, all the wealth automatically comes to them. You don't even have to do any extra effort. So stealing of any kind, whether it is, somebody's idea, somebody, anything, when we are in a team's thing, right? What do we need to do? We all need to give attribution. It's like, hey, that guy worked very hard. Recognize, be inspired, but don't take other people's work as your own credit, right? So, and again, those are the things, because if you may take a little bit of claim of these things, eventually what will happen is the real thing that you need, like, to get into the top school or some of those things, they will not come to you because there is never ever your idea, right? So that is the fourth power that is said. And the fourth power is Brahmacharya. Brahmacharya means Brahme Charati iti Brahmacharya. Brahma is like our thoughts. We are like, real divine people. Our thought needs to be so lofty. I want to go start a company and then, I'm going to make a difference. Like, look at Elon Musk. Elon Musk is like not a special being. He did not come from an alien planet, right? He's like, regular dude. But then he works every day, 16 hours. 16 hours. And the other day I was listening. How many people listen to Elon Musk? Yeah. Yeah. And do you guys listen to Elon Musk? You should actually listen to some of the TED Talks. How many of you watch TED Talks?
I used to.
You used to? There's one TED Talk that I would recommend all of you to watch. There are a couple of things that I'll post on the group. One is, how many people know Khan Academy? All of you. And did anybody watch Sal Khan's TED Talk?
What, the AI one?
No, the recent one is the AI one. That's the Gen AI, Amigo, Khan Academy, Khan Amigo is a recent one. But in general, Sal Khan Academy, mastery-based excellence, how he started Khan Academy. It's a fantastic thing, right? So our thoughts need to be so grandiose. Before Sal Khan, like all of us, he went to a top school, I think MIT, he got a PhD in math. And then he said like, okay, let me go make some ton of money. And then he joined in a job in a Wall Street as a banker, and he was trying to do that. But at some point, something happened. And then he saw like, there is a greater idea in building Khan Academy. Now, the free education of the math is helping so many people around the world, Africa and all this stuff. So Brahmacharya, your thoughts need to be, you're all capable people to actually make such a big impact in the world. That's Brahmacharya. So Brahmacharya is Brahmacharya Pratisthayam Virya Labdaha. The more you focus your energies on achieving bigger things, not like mundane things, right? Mundane is like small things, right? So then, I just want to, I want to just, get into small things. Then what happens is your capabilities will also become smaller. The bigger the canvas that you have, the bigger the capabilities become. Right? The other one is aparigraha, which is like, don't covet. Okay, the other person has a, big, nice, big Tesla. Let me actually do it. If you want to have a canvas, it's like, I'm going to build a company like Tesla. What is the point in just having a Tesla car? You can actually go and say like, I'm going to build a thing. So these are the 5 universal human values. And then on the other side, niyamas, Patanjali said, the yogis, there are like 5 things that each one of us need to inculcate. The first one is saucha, cleanliness. Cleanliness is actually the biggest part of, so Patanjali did not even talk about anything about, okay, touch your, or do a headstand or anything. He talked about these things. Saucha, cleanliness. Cleanliness is one of the most important things. Cleanliness within your surroundings, within your body, and then within, all around, and mind. In fact, does anybody know? We'll say Trikarana Shuddhi. Does anybody know? In Sanskrit, we always sometimes like, we always need to be in Trikarana Shuddhi. Means we need to be clean in 3 dimensions. Manasa, Vacha, Karmana. right? Karmana means our actions. Manasa means our thoughts need to be clean. Then vacha, whatever even we speak, it needs to be like something that's pleasing, the words that we use. It should create positivity for us and for the people around us, positivity. Saucha. When you do saucha, you actually build get a lot of fortune. And then the other one is you build a lot of concentration. Santosha. The other one is, everybody in a yoga, we always need to be santosha, content, be joyful. And the last three are called tapas, swadhyaya, Ishvara Pranidhana. Tapas means, giving hard work. Last week, we talked about flow state. How much hard work that we need to do? 110%. Push beyond your comfort zone. That is hard work. Swadhyaya it is like only don't push it too much, right? Only give 10 to 20% more than what you have. And the last one is Ishvara Pranidhana. Always surrender all the outcomes to Ishvara. Don't ever feel like, if I don't get into this good college, I'm like done. No, we only are entitled to giving the hard work, but not the thing. So this is what is the first two limbs, yamas and niyamas. How we conduct towards others. Niyamas is how we conduct with ourselves. Always be happy, always be clean, always give your hard work, put hard work with rightful means. Some of the people, what they say in the schools? Hey, I have to work very hard because tomorrow is a test. So tomorrow I have a test. There are two ways of doing it. One is I can get a monster drink and then stay up all night. Is that a good practice? No. We can actually do some mindfulness exercises and all this stuff, right? So that's why Patanjali said tapas, hard work, but with rightful means, swadhyaya, with rightful means. And then the last one is everything is Ishvara, surrender to the Supreme. Don't be worried about where we need to get to. Always do the hard work. Then the next limbs, asana. Asana is postures. Patanjali only gave about 3 sutras out of 196. He only talked about 3. What is the right posture? Right posture is sthira sukha asana. A good posture is when we are stable and when we are free. Sthiram sukham. Sukham means be happy. How do we know when we are sukham? This is like when your breath is, smooth and when you're smiling. So today when we are practicing yoga, I would want all of us to stay focused on being stable, not fidgeting, but at the same time, focus on having a smile and then having a breath. Right? Sthira Sukham Asana. And what Patanjali revealed, the people who actually do good postures, tato dvandva anabhigataha. What it means is the conflicts within your body will be reduced. Like, because what is one conflict that we all go through? Every day we have this battle between our tongue and stomach. Tongue wants tasty food, donut and this. The body says give me nutritious food. We're always having this big battle, right? So what Patanjali said is the people who practice this yoga, the posture, eventually this conflict will be reduced. And you see, right, people who are more athletic, people who are doing this, in general, you don't find too many donuts around them, right? They're actually eating salads, they're eating nutritious food, they're all doing this. This is a superpower that Patanjali said. You don't need to do anything special, right? Just practice more of yoga and do some postures, then automatically. And people who practice yoga also, look at them, right? The types of TV that they watch or YouTube. They'll be watching TED Talks or they will be watching some inspirational, positive things, right? Their need for other things will go on. Otherwise, what are the other people who don't do yoga? They'll be watching CNN. They'll all be watching hey, this bad thing happened here, that bad thing here. So tato dvandva. Dvandva means conflicts. Anabhigataha, they will be reduced. Why do we need to do as yoga? It's because the conflicts within your body, automatically you start liking more positive things. You will eat more nutritious food. You'll watch very positive content. You will start hanging around with nicer people, positive people. That's why yoga is very, very important. And the last one is pranayama, breathing. Pranayama is we do the pranayama, right? There are some sutras. One superpower, it's right here. Yeah, it's there. So pranayama is, what he said is, Patanjali said, you will get two superpowers. One is pranayama improves your concentration. Dharana chu yogyata manasaha. One is it improves your concentration. And then the second one is tatakshiyate prakashaparanam. What it means is, when we wake up in the morning, we are very lazy, right? We feel dull, we feel cloudy. Or Patanjali, it's called avaranam. Avaranam means smoke. Our true exuberance, it's just like it's covered by smoke. Right? When you have a mirror and if it has some smoke, what does it look like? Very hazy, cloudy, we don't have anything, right? But it doesn't mean that as a person we are not sharp. It's just that the smoke is covering. What it basically says, like Patanjali said, pranayama, it actually removes that fog and it actually brings exuberance. So these are some of the first 4 limbs and 5 limbs, and the yamas, niyamas, asana, pranayama. So today when we do the practice, I would like us to keep some of these things in the mind, particularly in the asana. When you are doing it, what do we need to do? Sthira, Sukha, asana. Means Sthira, Sukha. Can you give any analogies of good examples of Sthira, Sukham, asanam? Stable but free. Like rooted like a rock, but free to move.
Maybe like vines or something, because they grow over the highway.
Exactly, like a tree. Like when you go see the tree, does it shake? No, it's like a rooted. But then it gives you, from that rooted, it has a freedom. All the leaves are free floating and all that stuff. So whenever we are doing a yoga today, focus and then free and then smile and the joyful, right? So sound good? Any thoughts, comments on the yoga powers? Which power do you want to cultivate more? Non-violence? Good. That's a beautiful thing. Sri Charan, any power? Being truthful, right? So that, Satya, exactly. Satya, being truthful. This is one of the greatest things. Just be truthful, and then we can just say, like, I want to get 2400. Then you don't even have to go to the tuitions, right? Brilliant, but we can skip it, right? That's even better, right? We can just, so it's like, but truthful is a very difficult job, right? Always saying whatever is inside and representing that outside. And being truthful doesn't mean just that hard. Being truthful to the process of learning. When you go to the Brilliant Pep, giving 100% effort, sincerity, hard work, then everything will automatically come in. Ishvara Pranidhana. We don't even need to worry about looking at the score. Somebody else will look at the score because we being truthful to giving our hard work. Yeah. So awesome. So let's all make an intention that we'll be truthful in our practice today, and then we'll see what it actually manifests. Yeah. Should we all go outside? Yeah.